Hello, everyone. I just felt real need to share this right now. You know those moments when you are just tired or cranky or irritable, or just, you're at work and there's just some people that kind of rub you the wrong way, or just you just rather not deal with. Well, there was this one particular policy holder that had been in before, and I'll be real honest, he didn't have very good hygiene. His teeth were gross. I mean, just being really honest. He'd get really up close into your face, like to make those blonde jokes, talk a lot about, you as a woman, and, do all those kinds of things that maybe for me it was just kind of like, okay, really, let's deal with your policy, let's get what you need, and let's just get you out of here, and even the people around me, like, came back from lunch one day, and the other person that had to deal with him called me back on the phone and was like, hey, that guy was kind of creepy. Well, he came back in today, and of course immediately I'm like, this guy again. And immediately, first off, one of the first things was, why do blondes, always got blondes behind the desk and all this kind of stuff, and so I'm just like, how can we help you today? What can we do for you today? And he got to business pretty quick. I think he got the point. And so got people contact us, said, you can have a seat. They'll be out here in a few minutes. There was something about him today. There was a sadness, or like, hey, maybe I offended her or something, is what I thought it was. But he's like, I'm probably not going to be able to do this much longer, just work. And I was like, well, why is that, He's like, well, my wife, she's sick, and in fact, she's out there with me today, in the car, and just probably not going to be able to do this much longer. And, of course I started listening, and, you never know when people are being honest with you or not, if they're just giving you a story or whatever, but, he said she's got a hereditary, genetic disease of some kind that you get when you're around 50, and, eat your brain cells, and he's like, there's no cure for it, and we have to go to Kansas City or whatever for a treatment. There's no doctors here, and I think he said it was like Huntington's disease. And he's like, it's a shame there's not very much research for it, whatever. And he's like, but it's getting really difficult to deal with. He looked like he had tears in his eyes. He was getting very emotional, and I said she was screaming as I came in here. And of course I was kind of skeptical, even. I'm like, does he even have a wife? Is there even somebody out there with him? And I hate to be that way, but we all get it. It's just like, but I could really see in his face, I'm like, he's being very honest. And my heart was immediately broken. I thought, here I am, and my selfishness, looking at this person and judging them like I am, and having no idea what they're struggling with. And I look at my sickness and I think it's so bad sometimes, and I don't feel good, and I'm scared about what I might hear or whatever. But some people have it worse. It's harder. And as he left, I looked out and I saw his wife, and my heart was broke. I think I even for a moment might have treated him bad, or less because of anything on the outside, because that's not what God sees. And we never know, as that saying goes, treat other people with kindness because you have no idea what struggles that they are dealing with, what they're going through. And we don't. We have no idea what other people are struggling with or what they're going through. And sometimes the walls that they'll put up, or the facade that they'll put up on the outside, just because they're trying just to get by, to get through life. And especially people that don't have Christ, it's like, I don't know how they do it. And sometimes what we're seeing is not really the real thing. We're not seeing that real person. We're just seeing what they're allowing us to see. And I just felt like maybe somebody else needed to hear this today, because it just broke me, because he's taking care of his wife, and he may not have anybody else to talk to. He's trying to work. He's trying to get by the very best that he can. And he may be totally alone. He may not hardly have any help. He may not have any help at all. But maybe this would be a reminder to all of us to be merciful, to be kind, and to remember people that we see when they're hard covers, or when they're rude, or when they seem difficult or dirty, or may not have what we even have. We think we've got it rough. They have it far worse than we do. Let's remember to be kind.